Hello kids, welcome back. Hoping so everybody is keeping sound in health. On behalf of St. Paul's High School, I, Miss Hina Sheikh, welcomes you all in the second video session of Geography.
Hello kids. Our today's lesson is from EVS 1 textbook for 5th standard and the name of the lesson is The Earth and its Living World Part 2. Firstly, let's get updated about what we studied in first part of the lesson The Earth and its Living World. We studied that there are living things on land, in water, and in the air. So, we are learning the major spheres of the earth. We have already covered the two major spheres of the earth in part 1, namely the lithosphere and the hydrosphere. And in this second geography session of the lesson The Earth and its Living World, Part 2, we will be covering up number 1, the atmosphere, number 2, layers of atmosphere, number 3, water cycle, and number 4, biosphere. So kids, let's start with the class. Kids, let's learn about atmosphere. There is an envelope of air, that is, our earth is surrounded by a layer of air all around, and this layer of air is called the atmosphere. Now, as we go higher from the surface of the earth, that is, as we move higher and higher towards big mountains or traveling out into the air by aeroplanes, so the air becomes thinner and thinner and thinner. Okay, that is what it means. That is, the air becomes rarer. Now, the atmosphere, that is, the layer of air Earth is surrounded with, consists of a mixture of gases. There are many gases there. So, these gases are nitrogen, oxygen, water vapor, carbon dioxide, and there are some other gases also. But the some other gases, that is the all other gases, are in small quantities. Now, we have learned that our earth is surrounded by the atmosphere. Now, this atmosphere forms layers, and each of this layer is given names, and they are called troposphere, stratosphere, mesosphere, ionosphere, and exosphere. Now, the layer that extends from the Earth's surface to a height of about 13 kilometers from the surface of the Earth, it is called the troposphere. And in this layer of the atmosphere, we find all the conditions, that is, the weather conditions, and they affect the living world to a great extent. The surface of the earth gets heated due to the heat it receives from the sun. Hence, the air that is very close to the surface of the earth is very hot over there. It is the hottest. But as we go higher away from the surface of the earth, it becomes cooler and cooler. Almost all the water vapor in the atmosphere is contained in the troposphere. So that is why all weather related phenomena such as formation of clouds, rains, fog, winds and storms take place in the troposphere. We have learnt that as we go away from the surface of the earth, the air becomes thinner and thinner and thinner. So, the air on high mountains is rarer than the air near the surface of the earth. Now, aeroplanes fly in the higher parts of the troposphere. They go very high up, so the air over there is very rare, and therefore arrangements have to be made to see that to ensure that the passengers get enough air for breathing. We have learned that the layer of the atmosphere from our surface up to 13 kilometers is called troposphere. Now, after that, from 13 kilometers to a height of about 50 kilometer from the surface of the earth, that layer of the atmosphere is called the stratosphere. Now, in the lower part of the stratosphere, there is a layer of gas called the ozone gas. We know that the rays that come from the sun, they are called ultraviolet rays, and these rays are very harmful for us, harmful for living things on the earth. But the ozone layer absorbs all these ultraviolet rays, takes all these ultraviolet rays of the sun and protects all the living things on this earth. Now let's learn about water cycle and how rain is formed. Now we know that the surface of the water gets heated up due to the rays of the sun. Now, as this water gets heated, it starts evaporating continuously. Not only the surface of the water, but even the water that has percolated, that is collected into the soil, the groundwater, even that gets heated up and starts evaporating continuously because of the heat of the sun. And as it evaporates, it goes and enters the atmosphere. Now, when the water gets heated up, it changes into water vapor, and the water vapor is very light. It is lighter than air. So, it rises up and goes higher up into the atmosphere. And we know the air over there is cooler. It is not as hot as that on the surface of the earth. So, when the water vapor combines with the cool air, it starts condensing. Condensing means when the water vapor changes into droplets of water. Now, these droplets of water are very small and they are very light. Okay, so they start floating and they form clouds. Now, these small droplets, as they are floating, they combine with other droplets of water, and they become bigger drops. These bigger drops are much heavier, and when they are floating and they combine together, they get heavy. So now they cannot float anymore. So they start falling down in the form of rain. So that is how we get rain on earth. Okay kids, now this process, that is of evaporation, that is the water heating up and forming water vapor and rising up into the atmosphere, that is called evaporation, and then the water cooling down, that is called condensation. Water vapor cools down and forms into drops of water, so that cooling processes is called condensation, and then all the water droplets collect and they form into big clouds, and they cannot hold together, so they come down on the surface of the earth in the form of rain. So this whole process of evaporation, condensation and rainfall is called water cycle. Now let's move further. We know that there are innumerable, that is countless kinds of living things on the earth. The various regions of the earth differ in many ways. Some of the regions are always covered with ice, while others have a hot climate. There are mountains in some places and plains in others. Some places have a lot of rainfall, while others are dry deserts. There are salty seas and oceans, and also freshwater lakes. The ocean is shallow near the coast, but away from the coastline. The ocean can be several kilometers deep. We see a great variety in these living things that inhabit these different regions. Now what does this means is that we see different kinds of living things, that is both animals and plants in different regions on the earth. For example, the polar bear is seen only in the snow-bound polar regions. Zebras are found in Africa and kangaroos are found only in Australia. Whereas we can see elephants and lions are only found in regions of hot climate. These animals are not found in any other regions. For example, we cannot find polar bears in any other regions in hot climate, and so also we can't find animals living in hot climate. For example, lions. We cannot see the lions in the polar regions, in the cold regions. Just like the animals, the plants in all these different regions also show a great variety. This variety is characteristic of those different regions. It means that in a particular region, we will find only those plants. No other plants can grow. Now, many different kinds of plants, animals, and microorganisms are found everywhere on the earth, that is, on land, in water, and in the air. Living things exist in the lithosphere, hydrosphere, and atmosphere. So, we find living things on all the three spheres of the earth, that is in the lithosphere also, in the hydrosphere also, and in the atmosphere also. Now, they also interact with these spheres, and all these living things on different spheres, they constitute the biosphere. The more we use our brains, the more they develop. Am I right, kids? Yes. So, your teacher is giving you a little amount of homework which will help you students in building your study habits, and it will also increase your practical skills. So, kids, let's see today's homework. Question number 1. Fill in the blanks. Number 1. The dash extends under the water also. Number 2. The layer of atmosphere which is next to troposphere is called dash. Number 3. Kangaroos are found only in dash. Question number 2. Name the following. Number 1. Name any two sources of water. Number 2. Name any two oceans. Number 3. Animal seen in the snow-bound polar regions. Question number 3. Answer the following questions. Number 1. Write the names of the envelopes of the earth. Number 2. What is a continent? How many continents are there on earth? Number 3. What are landforms? And number 4. What is meant by biosphere?
Hoping kids you have understood with your assignments. Attempt your homework. I hope that you have understood, you have liked, and you have enjoyed the geography lesson, The Earth and Its Living World, Part 1 and Part 2. I will be back soon with some another topic and with some another subject. So till then, stay at home, stay safe. Bye.